Hello everyone, I'm Lynn. Welcome back to another 3 at 3. I work at This Is Milk and I'm joined today by Charlotte Valeur. Welcome, hello. She is the founder of the Institute of Neurodiversity, which is a membership body for people with neurodiversity and to enable them to prosper. We're going to do a few wee questions today, and we've just been having a lovely chat, so I'm really excited to share some of Charlotte's experiences with you. So yeah, I'm just curious to find out a bit more about your experiences of professional learning and development.
Thank you very much, and thank you very much for having me here today. That's much appreciated. One of my favorite subjects to talk about, neurodiversity. So in terms of professional learning and development for myself, I never went to university. So I started working at 18 after my A-levels. And then the rest of my education has been professional learning, if you want, whilst working as a professional. I did find often for me personally that was quite hard at times, sort of to listen a lot to people giving lectures, where I'm much more practical and the practical aspects of what you should be doing. So I started also lecturing myself in my 20s around investments to I was banker, so to people in the networks, I was teaching them about investments as I was specifically an investment manager. And I think my lessons were always, the feedback I got was that everything changed a lot quickly, everything happened very quickly, but people said it made them focus more and not sort of fall back and be too comfortable. So I think my own style is quite different and keeps things quite alive. And I can feel the room. If people start sort of falling aside, then it's time for a break. So I think a bit more flexibility in learning would have helped me in my experience of professional development. Maybe smaller pieces of 20 minutes and then a break of some kind and then back to learning would certainly personally have helped me.
Yeah, that's really interesting how not only is formal learning structured, but also the importance there of informal learning and that constant learning for you improving yourself and then sharing that and teaching that back with everyone that you're working with. And I'm wondering, how is you defined as being a neurodivergent person, how has that impacted on your experiences of professional learning?
I think it has impacted me in terms of it's hard for me to do it because the whole, I'm very, very visual, and the whole listening exercise doesn't really work for me super well. So for me, much more flexibility in how the material would have been delivered would have helped me. I'm super autodidact, so I do a lot of self-teaching, but it's almost like, well, you have to be in these lectures, you have to be present in all these different things to be able to learn what it is they specifically want us to learn. So I think being autistic myself, I do have special interest, and my own special interest is what I read about for bedtime reading. So I don't need a classroom environment to continue to develop myself. Of course, I'm naturally driven towards more knowledge in the things that has my interest. So I was lucky that whilst I was an investment banker and stock exchange trader, my special interest was everything to do with economics and the markets. So that was what I spent all my time doing, and I really, really enjoyed it. And then I moved over to governance and serving on boards about 15 years ago. Same thing, that just took over my world. And that's where my special interest is, alongside the charity pieces I do. But it's all kind of interrelated anyway, right?
No, that is, yeah, that thirst for knowledge and learning, which might not be tapped into, but you found ways to really kind of capitalize that and push yourself forward out with that. That's really, really important. Thank you.
But that's also why it's super important to focus on areas you have an interest in, right? With your education, I mean, I have 3 children in higher education, and I said, you must choose subjects that you are naturally drawn to. Don't choose something because it sounds good or you think it will do something for you. If you're not that interested, it won't do anything for you, right?
My final question would be, if you had one tip to share with the working world to make it more inclusive, what would it be?
I think it would be flexibility, right? I think be guided by what your employees are drawn to, right? Naturally, or what your learners are drawn to. Have more interest in what each person do to learn and the different styles of learning, right? Where don't expect all of us to be the same, because we're not. nature has created us different so that we can continuously evolve as human species. And I think that's extremely important to put into learning. I mean, 200 years ago, we didn't all have to learn the same curriculum, right? I mean, we had people doing different things, and most people didn't actually learn anything. Only the privileged few learned something, and even them didn't always specifically learn specific things, more things that they were drawn to. And I think not going backwards, but thinking a bit about how we developed extraordinary people before set curriculums, right? Like Einstein, like Mozart, you know, all different areas, and maybe learn from some of that, where people could freely go to a focus of theirs and then excel. So I think that's flexibility, and be guided by how people learn and their interests is where we can create excellence in our learning as well, in my view.
And how the best to get out the most of all our diverse, wonderful people. Thank you so much for your time, and I'm looking forward to finding out more about the Institute of Neurodiversity. Thanks so much.
And thank you so much for having me.